Let's give him a big warm welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Woo! Welcome to the show,
Okay.
Captain Ren.
I'm like navigating
here.
VR and real life furniture at the moment, and
That can be dangerous.
I'm starting in a deficit because edibles. Anyway. First of all, I wanted to say thank you for agreeing to come on and do the interview and everything. I thought it was a great idea. You had left me that message, just mentioning that. And I thought that was a great idea. And like right away, I think I even didn't even reply to you for a couple days, and you had sent me something else and I'd answered that. And then I followed back up with the original message. But like I read it and I instantly within minutes, dropped it in a group chat with other late show people. And I was like, hey, what do you think about this idea? That sounds cool, etc. And then Dutch was the first one to jump on wanting to do the interview when I said, okay, dibs to the people up the next few weeks. So here we are.
Here we are. Be here too. This is an amazing show. This is an amazing stage.
Aww.
I mean, this is beautiful. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. The quality, the craftsmanship, everything. The host, everything about this has just been mind-boggling. How professional and how full scale this is.
That's really sweet of you to say. The only thing that I can't blame on Vanquisher is myself, but everything else you see here and all of the cool special effects and things that work and random fire that might just shoot across at any moment, that is all Vanquisher. That is him and his big brain. So he is the reason that the quality of this is as good as it is.
Big Vanquisher!
So, for people who might not know you yet, can you introduce yourself and tell us how you first got involved in VR and content creation?
Oh, that is a long, twisted story. So, anyway, my name is Captain Ren. I actually had a show a long time ago. It was actually the very first VR talk show, a full-scale VR talk show. And it was called the 6873 show. It was the reason we call it 6873 is most of you are going to be too young to remember, but phones used to actually have letters underneath them, and 6873 would spell out Muse.
Yeah, we're old enough for that talk show.
Yeah. I didn't catch that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I forgot about QWERTY. Yeah.
Yep. And it was we had our own stage. We were the first to actually have a dedicated stage for a show. It was a lot of fun. What gave me the idea is I'm actually an expat from Altspace, and amazing place. Absolutely miss it. And
thank you for your service.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. But there was a gentleman over there who used to have a talk show in VR. It was called The Witching Hour. And I was infatuated with that show. It was so cool to be able to actually go to a show, have a full-on talk show, and he had recorded them, put them on YouTube. And if anyone out there is interested, I believe he still has a lot of his videos up. It was called The Witching Hour. It was recorded out of Altspace, and it was pure magic. And I always thought how cool it would be when Altspace finally sunsetted. It was a sad time for a lot of people. There was a lot of people who came over to VRChat. I was one of them.
Right.
And I used to see a lot of the videos from VRChat, and they were basically just brain rot. There was nothing really to them. They're just all a lot of brain rot. And it's especially coming from Altspace, it had so many amazing things, so many amazing creators. Why don't they take more, because this is a more sophisticated platform than Altspace was. In every way, it's superior. And so I kind of came up there. It was mainly one of those things, hey, hold my beer, we're going to do a talk show. So
nice.
I had made a basic stage. I built the premise and stuff around the 6873 show. Asked one of my friends, hey, you want to come on co-host with me? And our first episode, which was interesting because I actually had another account recording it, and it turned into kind of a catastrophe because as we were doing the entire show, I didn't notice it, but the laptop was set up by me, and my cat came over and started messing with the mouse. And so the camera was going like this all over. We had to reshoot the entire show all over again.
Oh no.
So it was kind of from that show on, we started putting out one show every week for 3.5 years.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Wow.
Mhm.
That kind of answers my first question, which is kind of how it all really came together. You pretty much summed it up pretty much there, which is really interesting. It's really cool. You're kind of pioneers in the industry, you know?
Yeah, though it hadn't really been done before in VRChat, you know, and it was kind of cool, you know. It was definitely a lot of learning curves, a lot of things we were trying to figure out. A lot of people, you know, would come to us like, "Hey, how are you doing this?" and stuff like that. And so it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of, well, I should say that it was a very interesting time. There was a lot of very highs,
Oh,
a lot of lows.
Mm. That's to be expected, right? With something new, you're gonna test it out, throw it against the wall, and see what sticks, right?
Exactly.
And I feel like that statement may feed at least a little bit into the next question we had, which was, you had hosts and crew from multiple countries working together. What was it like coordinating something that ambitious inside VR at that time?
a nightmare. Absolute nightmare, because I mean, when you're dealing with 8-10 hour time differences, you know, we had to set a schedule, and so the scheduling, once we finally found a time and a date when we could record, it wasn't as bad. But you know, some of us recording late at night, some of us recording early in the morning. I mean, we had hosts from Denmark, we had hosts from England, we had hosts from Wales, from Florida. You know, where I'm at in Arizona. I mean, it was all these different time zones to have to deal with. But that's also what gave us this flavor. Is you had so many different wild viewpoints from basically a global perspective. So when we got into a subject, we were actually able to tear that subject apart from so many different points of view.
That's actually that brings up my next question, was like, what kinds of topics are you guys most passionate about covering on the show, especially, you know, stuff people weren't really talking about anywhere else? What kind of sparked the ideas of stuff that you guys wanted to discuss?
Well, for me, like I loved this PBS series. It was called Story Trek, and it was basically finding people, and everyone's got a story. And it's just giving people the ability to tell their story. And I loved that premise of story trekking. And so a lot of the 6873 show was people telling their stories, things that they had gone through, exploring subjects, you know, that people, for the most part, didn't want to talk about. They were too taboo, or you know, it wasn't publicly acceptable to talk about certain subjects. And, you know, there are certain things you need to talk about. And so that was the whole premise, is having this very diverse perspective and allowing people to divulge into a subject, tear it apart, get people to open up, tell their stories. We had so many different people, like T Mama. She was an amazing person. She was telling how she was kidnapped and all she had gone through being kidnapped and a prisoner and stuff like that. Wow. And it was, you know, it was fascinating finding those stories and being able to actually bring them out.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Absolutely. And this, that kind of, again, plays a little bit into the next question. It's just funny how the conversation is flowing. But running a live show for over, was it 3.5 years, you said?
3.5 years, one episode a week.
Okay, so that's obviously no small thing. I mean, as anyone that's worked on this show knows, not a small thing. So what were some of the biggest challenges or low moments behind the scenes?
A lot of it had to do, honestly, with internal matters. Like my co-host at the time, Tuki, she wanted to play everything safe. She wanted nothing to rock the boat. And the whole idea behind 6873 show was very definitely to rock the boat.
Rock the boat. Yep, I'm with you there.
Yeah, so we had a lot of internal, back and forth where we wanted to take the show. And a lot of the problem, I hate to say it, was internal. And so we had, everyone, like, it was the first show. There was so many people who wanted that claim, of the 6873 show. So there was kind of a power dynamic battle. I was a creator. I was a founder. But everyone wanted to have their name in the big lights.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that. Then keeping staff. We had secretaries. We had cameramen. We had everything a regular show has. And a lot of people don't realize that, that a VR show has staff. They have cameramen. These are big productions. It just happens in virtual reality.
And unless you're monetized, we're all doing this for free. We are not monetized. So these people, everybody that's involved is donating their own time and time beyond just what we spend in this space doing this show every week. Because there's a lot of moving parts, as I'm sure you can attest.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was keeping staff meetings, having to meet through the week to discuss subjects, or script writing, all that stuff. I mean, since we put on a show every week, and we were pre-recorded, it was hard because it was literally a week long, basically unpaid, labor of love, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and thankfully there's people that enjoy what we do enough, that show up in the audience, that show up on the YouTube, that, are there if you're putting stuff out on TikTok or whatever else. Like, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the people that come and attend and enjoy this and support us just by being here, which means a lot because it means you like what we're doing. People, obviously 3.5 years, they loved what you were doing. So thank you to the people that show up, kind of stuff.
It's all about
here.
Everyone
out
there rocks.
Multiple.
Yeah, everyone out there rocks. And
so you're
why we all did this stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you'd mentioned like a lot of ups and downs, positives and negatives, stuff that was difficult, stuff that really you guys were passionate about, and things that really made it positive. What moments kind of made you realize, okay, this is actually something special, and like this is something that we really enjoy doing, or that could last for a little while?
Well, it was just it was kind of funny when you kind of in some ways have to stop going to public worlds because people start recognizing you. And and it's like, wait, you're that wolf from that show. And it's like, yeah. And for me, because the show wasn't just a show, we did a lot of charity work. We actually did a lot of charity work. And it was giving us a vehicle, or at least for me anyway, it was giving me a vehicle to help other people. And that was one thing that I loved. But the people who actually volunteered actually reached out and contacted us to be on the show. We had some very high level movie producers on the show. We had top creators. We had at one time before the show closed, Tupper himself, the creator of VRChat, had expressed wanting to be on the show. Like there was
that's awesome.
So much that was like, whoa, this is, we're just a dinky little talk show, a bunch of furries in front of a camera, just talking about random stuff, but people loved it. It was so funny too, because like some of our fans, we had fans from all over the world. We had this one lady, she was so sweet. She was a beautician down in Mexico, and she would always text us, want to know when the next show is coming out, because at her station, she would literally have our show playing at her nail station.
Oh wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, it was all the feedback, all the stories of people, things of like how we'd helped people. We had opened up a subject to people. It was just the community. Like I say, it's a community. And actually having a positive effect on people. In fact, Blade Wolf right over here, he was one of our actually one of our first actual fans. He's an amazing person. I would have never met him any other way.
That's awesome.
And him and his wife are just absolutely fantastic, you know. And so, yeah, Blade was a big part of our show. Actually, Blade was a big part of us continuing the show, just hearing his comments and, you know, loving our show, wanting what's the next episode about. And so, yeah, it was just one of those special things.
Awesome. Amazing. That's great. And just that, you know, you've turned a fan into a friend, and after all this time, you know, you did the show for 3.5 years, and then however long it's been since the last one that you did, and you're still here hanging out with them. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Goes to show.
Yeah. No, this is like real friendships are made. It doesn't matter if you don't meet in real life. I mean, these spaces, we're here as ourselves authentically. So we make friends, we make connections. It's what people do.
Yeah.
Now
well, you know, there was.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, there was one thing that one person had said about being in VR. It says, in life, everyone wears a mask. But in VR, everyone takes that mask and puts it aside. So a lot of times what you're seeing someone's true, authentic self.
Yeah, that's very true.
This guy didn't take his mask off, though.
I never take the mask off. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. It's a fashion thing.
You mentioned other creators started using your format as inspiration. How does it feel knowing that the show helped influence other VR talk shows?
Kind of special. I mean, none of us, well, at least I wasn't one of these people who's like, oh, we have a shop. You can't, this is all top secret. We don't want anyone copying us. I wanted to see more people create in VRChat. This is a great platform for doing videos. And so there would be a lot of people who would actually reach out to us and ask, how do you do stuff? I would invite them to the stage. I would walk them through, we had how we had camera posts, how we ran the show, how production is done. Heck, even the movie producer, I corrupted him into VR for a while. And, he was actually so interested in actually believe it or not, he actually wanted to film full movies in VR because he thought it was such an inventive platform where you could have any set and have any type of creature in that set that he got really excited about it. And, it was awesome because there's even people that I know, that I still know, that, we actually help set up their stages. I would actually sometimes build stage worlds for them, give it to them, and say, okay, here you go, have fun with it.
Oh, wow.
And so it was fun seeing these people. There's even one that's still running that got their start. We inspired them the same way as Witching Hour inspired me, and actually continue, following their passion. Some of them are making money now. That's how they're making money.
Amazing. So, wow. Yeah, and that kind of goes into kind of my next question is, you've seen how things were back in 2021, I believe, when you guys began, and kind of how things
back
are
in the
happening. Old days. How things are kind of changing and evolving. How do you think VR entertainment and the community spaces have changed since back when you guys had first started? How do you find it kind of is now compared to then? Any differences, or do you find it's kind of the same or evolved at all? What do you think?
A little bit more involved. I think it's a lot more polished, from just a bunch of random people doing a basic talk show with a thrown together set versus, actual production quality. I see a lot more people taking it way more seriously, running it as an actual show, and the possibilities are endless. That's one of the beauties about being in VR. You have no limits.
Right.
You have no limits whatsoever above what you set yourself. And
Beyond
so the sky's the limit. Yeah, the sky's the limit. you can do so much, and the technology is progressing. Even from when I first started on VRChat, the things you can do now, and now we've got other more advanced metaverses coming out. We have better equipment coming out. We have new headsets that some of us are chancing at the bit, to drop, and it's becoming a accepted reality. Because I hate to say it, this VR can be a very deep hole, and I always tell people when they first come into VR to be careful, because in VR can become your primary life. And you got to find that balance. Go out and touch grass.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand it's like Ready Player One. I mean, for so many people, that's becoming their reality. This is where we make friends. This is where we meet our special others. This is where we have fun. This is where we go to movies. This is where we have a life.
I find it less taxing to be social, like in VR, be it like in the headset itself or be it in 2D, than it is actually physically being with people. Like I don't people outside of my job. I come home and then I hang with people online.
It's like you said,
well,
you take the mask off in VR, right? And some people they're more open and they're their genuine selves when they're in VR, because they're kind of, you don't have that face-to-face kind of anxiety that you would normally have in everyday life. You have that kind of avatar barrier to kind of help you open up a bit more.
Well, what's funny is, like I say, we did a lot with community and stuff like that. And it was really interesting. We'd have people with, for example, I mean, I've seen a lot of cases where VR has literally changed people's lives for better.
Oh, absolutely.
There's been a lot of people who come into VR for the first time with extreme social disorders. Extreme social anxiety is if there's more than two people in a room, they'd almost be in a corner crying. And the thing that everyone has to remember is VR spills over to reality. It always spills over. And you see these people, they come into VR and because they can represent themselves at their best possible self. And they have that almost security blanket of knowing if something goes, they can take the headset off. But they finally come in here, they start socializing, they make friends, and within 6 months, you have people who were extreme social anxieties going to the grocery store and just starting chatting up random people up. It's that bridge, because like I say, it spills over.
Yeah, I can speak personally to that. I've noticed in my own personal life how VR has helped me to kind of get that anxiety of meeting someone new, even in real life, just saying hello, how you doing? Because you do so much of it in VR, right? Meeting new people all the time and getting used to that kind of just being able to say, hey, how's it going, to someone you've never met. It does spill out into the real world,
It does.
Absolutely.
And that's special. That's something amazing. And that's one of the benefits, I think, with VR is just the ability of, I hate to say healing, but for a lot of people, it is healing.
Now,
very true.
Moving on just to the next question. This has been a nice aside, though. Don't get me wrong. Now, alongside hosting, you also create music under Dark Heat. How did music become a part of your creative journey?
Music has always been very important to me. I love music. It's my escape for a lot of different things. And unfortunately,
I get that.
I write lyrics. Like I actually do have one of my poems published.
Oh, nice.
And
nice.
Yeah. And so it was, kind of a natural progression going to music, especially. A lot of people have their nays and against VR, and I'm not. I'll be very honest with you. I'm not a very big supporter with a lot of VR. But it fills the gaps in what I lack in creative ability, because I can't sing. I can't
AI,
play
you mean? Sorry, you said VR, but you mean AI, right?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Kitty brain.
No,
But,
it's all right.
but it fills the gaps in my inabilities. So because I can't sing, I can't play an instrument very well, but I can write lyrics. I can write the song. I can write the song out. I can write everything. I just can't perform it. So being able to write everything out and then put it into an AI and have it perform it for me with my voice and everything is pure magic. And Dark Heat unfortunately did come out of a dark time in my life. You know, as a lot of the songs on it, you can kind of guess. You know, so it was an outlet for me. It was a expressing myself in a positive way. You know, to get those dark feelings, that poison out of my body through my music. And a lot of people love my music. It's kind of starting to take off a life by itself. I'm actually on all major streaming platforms now. And it's just something that I do because I love it. It's an outlet for me. And of course, as Divine Slayer, she does the same thing. And she makes some amazing music.
Every week on the show. Yeah.
Yes. So I like some of the songs that I'm just taken aback by how beautiful they are. You know?
Yeah.
When I grow up, I want to be like her. So.
We all do.
Now, two things. Okay, so the first one is we'll get you to drop in the Discord the links to your stuff, the YouTube channel, Spotify, your Apple, whatever, YouTube, everything that you're in. So you can drop links to self-promote that because people are probably going to want to check out your music now that we've been talking about it. And I just wanted to also circle back to you mentioning that you were writing poetry and the songwriting was a natural progression for you because it's hilarious. I've been writing poetry lately, and Big John there, he sent me a message, and he wrote like it was like, I don't know, maybe a dozen-ish sentences that he wrote, just like all of the same kind of theme. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, I could write a poem. No, that's a song. So I literally wrote a song, and when John co-hosts with me, I ran it through the Suno or whatever the hell it is, and got it to sing it, perform it, everything. And when John hosts with me, we're going to play it on the show. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Little teaser there for you.
And I can't wait to hear Kitty sing. She promised she would actually sing it. So yeah, that'll be cool.
No, I didn't. It's AI. Shut up.
Oh, you said it. You're going to do it. You're going to do it.
No, I didn't. I didn't say that at all. So I think he kind of
it's out there now.
already answered your question, Dutch.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, basically, yeah. The use of AI, I think we kind of agree how how AI can be used as kind of a tool to kind of express yourself and to kind of get that creativity out and get something. Even though it's AI and there's a lot of controversy, you can really use it as something to express yourself because you still got to prompt it and give it something to work with, right? And you can use it as a creative tool, as an artistic thing. Right.
And for a lot of people, they think AI is going to be Terminator, stuff like that. But how I use AI and how a lot of creators use AI is just that. It's nothing more than just a tool. Because, I write all the lyrics. I write the song. I have to remaster it. There's a lot of work that goes into even an AI song to actually have it come out as something decent. Because if you just go into a prompt and you just say, hey, make me a music about cute kittens, it's going to come out with something that's grotesque. I'm sorry, it makes no sense. And so there's still a huge human element in there, and it is just a tool. And I think my personal view on AI is, especially with the search for like general intelligence, hyper AI intelligence, AI should be kept at just that, just a tool.
Yeah.
And, if we keep it at just a tool, then it's something that's useful for us.
Absolutely.
So Whether it's talk shows or music, your work seems to focus on expression as well as difficult conversations. So what is it really that drives you creatively?
The search for, I guess you could say, the search for truth. To be open to, because my philosophy on a lot of different things is so much, and I hate to say it, it's an art. In fact, the whole idea behind their show and stuff like that was so many people have forgotten the art of pure, open, unbiased communication. And that's one thing I truly believe in, is true, unopen, biased communication. But you talk to a lot of people and it's like, well, this is my opinion. You need to respect it. If you don't respect it, you just need to die.
Yeah.
You know, but my thing is like, I may not agree with you, but I want to know more. Why do you believe in this? You know,
yes,
I'm interested in the story behind it.
Yes.
You know, that's how we learn. You know, there might be something that I may not agree with, but after you intelligently present your case, after we have talked like a civilized people, maybe you'll convince me. But we have to be able to sit down and talk like a civilized people.
Yeah.
300%. I think it's something that's kind of dying, is respectful debate. You know what I mean? People, they don't want to respectfully debate things anymore. It's my view is right, your view is wrong. It's just fighting and fighting. I mean, this is something that everybody has to grow up learning, is that you have to have respectful debate. Your opinion might not match with somebody else, but you got to be able to discuss it, right? You got to hear other people's viewpoints. I agree 100%.
And then respect those. Like, if I'm talking to someone and I don't agree with them, I don't agree with them. That is my own personal view. But that is still just that. It is my own personal view. That is your personal view. And I am civilized enough to respect their point of view.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. So circling back now to kind of the show.
Go ahead. Wanted to make a comment really quick. I just want to say, because you said your answer to my question was truth. And if I had been asked that question, my answer would have been understanding, but I think they're actually the same answer, really, when you think of it. And that was all I want to say. Sorry, Tosh.
Yeah, no, that's good. I was just going to circle back to the show kind of. So looking back, what are some of the things or something that you're most proud of when you think about the legacy of the 6873 show?
Just the fact that we have impacted so many people's lives in a positive way. I think that's what means the most, especially with the community being able to actually help people. There's people's lives that we've actually saved. There is the positive that we've created in people's lives. So much of it is just using the show as a tool, but being able to impact people's lives in a genuinely positive way. And we were the first.
Yes, yeah. Hey, give the props where they're due.
With that being said, what's next for you? Like, are there any new projects, shows, music that you're hoping to explore? What have you got in the
that is a very large subject, and for me the horizon is very open. I'm probably going to be just kind of concentrating on my music for right now. I do have a real life business venture. I actually have a coffee brand called Beanz Brew, beanzbrew.com with a Z. And so that's going to be one of my main things, is try to build Beanz Brew up. I do have a TikTok, which I occasionally do post on, which is once you're into this kind of business, it's kind of hard to completely give it up. So when I get the itch, I'll post a couple of TikToks, and my TikTok is actually beginning a lot of traction lately too, and it's nice, but I never wanted to go as big as the show was. And it's just kind of something that I enjoy, and if I can, because my TikTok is basically giving an old gray muzzle's advice on a lot of things in life. That's a lot of what it is.
Yeah.
And so if I can inspire someone or help someone, just listening to some crazy gray muzzle on TikTok, then it's worth it for me.
Absolutely.
I had one time talked about maybe making another show called Outside Perspective, a single host talk show, but not really sure on that. I might just concentrate on my music, my coffee brand, and honestly just see where the future takes me.
Amazing. Sounds like you've got some really nice plans coming up.
Florida.
Yeah. So to kind of wrap things up then, because I guess we're close to the end here, I would just say
this is the last question. Yeah.
Yeah. If you could go back and give your 2021 self one piece of advice before launching the show, what would it have been?
Oh, dear Lord. Run, Forrest, run. Right. I don't know. There was so much. It had burnt me out. I had got depression at times over it. But I had some of the most memorable, best experiences of my life. You have to take the good with the bad. And even though it was a roller coaster of a ride, I probably wouldn't have changed a thing.
Nice. Nice.
That's awesome.
Good words of advice, people. Take a chance and just do it. Don't even worry about it.
Absolutely.
It's kind of been one of my life sayings. In fact, as Captain Ren, I always tell everyone that life is an adventure, so don't forget to live it.
Nice. Oh, look.
Absolutely.
Oh, and one thing about Beanz Brew coffee is there's a percentage of every sale goes into a pot, and then I'm going to actually be doing a lot of humanitarian efforts from the proceeds of Beanz Brew.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
So that's always been my big thing, is to help where I can. And I really believe in giving a paw up to someone in need. So
there you go.
Beautiful.
Coffee and a good deed, people.
What could you do better? Come on, guys. Support the supporter. Well, thank you so much, Captain Ren.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show.
We appreciate your willingness to come up. Absolutely.
We've all learned a little something, I think, today.
And we'll have to get you to pick out a song, and we can play it next week.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for having me on.
Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank
Everybody
you so much.
Give a big round of applause for Captain Ren.
Yeah. Woo-hoo.